There we go. I had to change my sound settings so you guys could hear me. What is up, guys? Welcome to another Overkill stream. It's late night. It's like 11:15 here at night. Not quite ready to call it night. Figured what the hell. Jump on, fly. We're just going to goof off in the Grand Duke. I've never flown the Grand Duke before, so figured what the heck. Give it a shot. The BlackSquare Dukes are so freaking awesome. I love these aircraft. Wow, I'm like super tall. There we go. That's probably more realistic. These things are so freaking cool. I love these aircraft. Boop. Magically, he disappears. So, we are just going to screw around. We're going to take off from Tucson. We're just probably going to fly it over to Phoenix. I'll pick an airport when we get over there. We're doing all VFR. Just going to sort of enjoy the area. Not going to go too high. Probably 10,000 feet, maybe less. Like I said, just having a little bit of fun on the aircraft. Screwing around before bedtime. So, without further delay, let's just go ahead and get after it. I'm not going to waste any time tonight. We're just going to get this aircraft up and rolling. Let's get our mixture up. Huh. I don't remember binding both of those. Oh, you know what? I know why. Hang on, we got to fix something real quick. Oh, that would have messed me up. Yep. There we go. I use spad.next for all of my controls, so there we go. That's better. I knew that was odd. There we go. Let's get this beautiful girl started up. Alright, so all electrics are off. Let's make sure our fuel tank switches are on. Cowl flaps, I think I saw them open. They are open indeed. Okay. Clear all the ground equipment. Pull the wheel chocks out. Let's get this beautiful girl started. So first thing we're going to do is do the pre-oilers. Get our battery turned on so they actually have some electrical. Watch for our oil PSI. There it is. There's the jump. Turn the pre-oiler off. Boost pump on. Right throttle. Full. Wait for the fuel flow to peak. Give it about a 5-second count. It's close enough. Pump off. Throttle cracked. Magneto. And let's see if she likes me today. Beautiful. Let's get that generator turned on. Make sure we're sitting at about 1,000 RPMs. Let's close the doors, or it's going to get very loud in here. Oops, that was exactly what I wanted. There we go. Center of gravity looks good. Let's rinse and repeat, shall we? Left oiler. There we go. Good enough. Fuel pump. Watch for fuel flow peak. Give it that 5-second counter. Ish. Bumped the throttle on the way down there. Bring it up to the other one. Easiest way to go. Let it rip. Good start. That's what we like. Generator on. Master avionics. Main inverter. Beacon light. Nav light. Probably should have turned on first, but hey. Not going to worry about the pre-flight today. We're just going to hope that BlackSquare doesn't come and get me today. Transponder on. Altimeter today is 3025. Why is the 430 not turning on? Should have turned on with the avionics switch. Interesting. Is that a bug for this one? Works just fine in the piston, dude. Oh, I forgot. I don't have any cameras set up for this aircraft. Ah! Oh, that's why. We're on the 650. I don't want the 650. Switch that over. Hopefully I don't bork anything doing that. There it goes. I don't know that I've ever actually used a 650. Now that I think about it. Alright, well, let's set a quick camera view here, at least for the main view. Alright, not going to worry about pressurization system today. We don't really have to worry about that. We will watch our cabin temp here, so let's turn the auto heat on just for now. Set our temperature a little bit higher. We're going to clear that yoke out in case we have to get to the intercoolers. Alright, other than that, I think we're pretty much good to go. Keeping it so simple today, not much to worry about. We'll set a, start out at 8,000. We'll see where we're going to go from there. Cowl flaps are already open. Boost pumps will be needed for takeoff, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. Taxi light can come on. Pitch trim for the autopilot. Doing a quick flow here. Flaps won't be needed for takeoff. We got 11,000 feet of runway. Good to go. Let's go fly the Duke. Get my feet on the rudder pedals here. Let's release that parking brake. Let's send us on our way. We will have a bit of a crosswind. And we've got a very long taxi. Very long taxi. We get to go all the way down to 30, which is about 9,000 feet away. Oops. That was my fault. Push the toe brake in a little bit. Awesome sauce. BlackSquare aircraft, I think, are the best in the sim. I really do. They're complex, they're busy, they're demanding, and they're extremely temperamental. You mess with a BlackSquare aircraft and it will let you know. Okay. Chinook, hello from Tucson, Arizona. Welcome to the stream, pal. New Zealand, so I'm guessing early morning, right? Good morning to you is in order. What is with my chair? You're gonna see me taxi all over the place. I'm moving my rudder pedals. They're too close to me. There we go. See what our ground speed is. Eh, 23 knots. We're okay. As long as we stay under 25, right? It definitely is, Mike. It definitely is. The BlackSquare aircraft are phenomenal. So the nice thing is, like, you can turn the failures off, right? But even with the failures off, like, for example, these aircraft, they don't have an auto start. Oh, that is so weird. In the future, what happens tomorrow? No, I'm kidding. 722, really? Wow, I didn't think it was that far. I knew you were 8 hours plus, but damn, it's 11:20 here in Arizona in the States. I'm in, we don't really follow Pacific time. Arizona doesn't represent daylight savings, so. Yeah, I know. And Al, good evening from Alabama, sir. One end of the country to the other. I'm in Arizona. That's the only thing. So that is why I stream on both Twitch and YouTube. It's the chat. 100%. It's the chat. If it wasn't for the delay in the chat, I probably wouldn't use Twitch. And it's not that I don't have anything against it. It's just my subscriber base is on YouTube. So Mike, yeah, that's right. That makes sense, Mike. So you're 2 hours ahead. He gets all mad. Dragon. Hey, if it makes you feel better, my live streaming started on Twitch. I'm doing good, man. How are you? I'm doing good. And it's not that I don't like Twitch. I have nothing against it at all. It's just I got 42,000 people on YouTube, and like what? I think I'm getting up there. I think I'm what, 2,500 I think on Twitch. Getting there. Twitch is less demanding. I appreciate that, Dragon. I appreciate that. I really do. Keeps the motivation up. This is my first time flying the Grand Duke, guys, so if something happens and if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know I don't do my research before starting a new aircraft. I'll do my research afterwards, but the first one's always just fly it like I stole it. Dude, I know. The music gets annoying. Copyright, copyright, copyright. I wish I could play music. But even with Twitch, don't you have to like have sponsorships or subscriptions with like Epidemic or something like that? All right. So let's go. Landing lights on, taxi lights off, beacon goes down to recog, nav goes down to nav and strobe. All right. And other than that, I think we're good. Shouldn't need the pitot. We'll turn the pitot heat on. Why not? It's not going to hurt anything. Shouldn't need it though. We're still pretty warm. Yeah, it's already 71. I'm actually turn that back down. Cabin temp control goes to off for takeoff. We didn't even lean for taxi because apparently I like to make the roll tide. Do we have oh, Alabama? That's right. I'm in Arizona, man. We're all wildcats here. I'm in Tucson specifically, so we're University of Arizona. All right, so the other thing with the BlackSquare aircraft, and really any turbocharged aircraft, you want to spin them up, listen to the whistle on those turbochargers, bring them up slowly, let them get to max power, or you let them roll. There it is. We're out of here. Airspeed alive. 50 knots. 60. 70. There's 80. 88. Rolling. And she pops right up. Look at that. One of the easiest aircraft to take off. We are flying the B-60 Duke, the Grand Duke, though. So, a bit faster, a bit more powerful. Let's get that nose trimmed down a little bit. Gear comes up right away. I'll be dumb. Al, do you drive? The answer to your question is yes, it is. Let's see here. Oh, your system is down. That sucks, man. I'm telling you, man, look into Beyond ATC if you're worried about the subscription, which I totally get. I knew what you meant. You're fine, Al. And yes, it's still there, man. It's actually, I could probably get to it from my house in about 5 or 6 minutes. Not yet, but it will. They're moving through it, man. Exactly, yeah. So they've got their traffic ironed out. They just got their large language model pushed into the experimental version. IFR is complete. So I believe VFR is next on the roadmap. Oh, wow. 20 years on the road. My dad was on the road. I don't think it was very long. 2 years, maybe. 2 or 3 years, I think. It was before I was born, though. That was before my time. Let's pull some power off. Get the chat. I'm not paying attention. We're going to come all the way down to 2,500. We're going to bring our manifold pressure down to 35. Not going to worry too much about leaning too far out. We're still low enough. Like I said, we're going to keep it low for a while. Let's do this. There's our heading. And there we go. Let the aircraft fly it for a minute so we can look around. Thanks, Dragon Man. Appreciate it, bud. Get some sleep. I'm in Tucson. We just took off out of Tucson, Mike. My hometown. So let's see. I doubt it's going to be modeled, Al. But we'll see if we can't find it. So let me see here. Tucson International's right there, which means Valencia is going to be right here. It doesn't help that we're going to blow past it at Mach 4. I picked the wrong aircraft to do sightseeing in. Let's see if we can't track it down. Morning, Crow. How are you, bud? Actually, we haven't tried the large language model yet. That is my goal for tomorrow, believe it or not. It's why I've been pushed out the content that I got out today. Tomorrow we're going to try it because I believe it has been released to experimental. I can't remember. I have to talk to Cap again. It's funny too because I was actually, he and I talk, the lead developer, he and I talk offline. Hey, Brian, thanks, man. Thanks for joining the stream too. Yeah, I've had a lot of people been like, dude, you're live? All right, so let's see. I think, is that it? see here. I think that would be it right there, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe? Or maybe that's it over there. Yeah, that would make sense over here. It's over by that. I think that's it right there. I think that would be the triple T. Let's go that way. Because there is a neighborhood here. There's the interstate. How far am I turning? Ah, stop turning. Plane, you need to do what I told you to do. Let's go to the back seat for a second. I think it's going to be easier to see it. It's like plaster our head to the window. It's so hard to tell from the air and with some of these textures. But that would make sense if that was it right there. Because there's the interstate, and it's right off the interstate. Or is it... Oh, you know what? I think that's it right there. Because there's the truck lot. That's a truck wash, if I remember correctly. And these are all trailers. There's your triple T right there. That's it. Because there's the landfill. Yeah, there you go, bud. Hey, Jay, man, what's going on, buddy? Hey, we found it. All right, so we got... Sorry, I got to catch up on chat now. Al and I had to find the triple T. Move this over here. Choice 1989 to either go ATP in Dallas, 65, or truck school for AK1. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty awesome. So funny enough, one of the big things that's going to be coming to the channel here is a very, very nice rendition of an American Truck Simulator rig. We're going to be doing full motion sim, large screen TVs, force feedback wheel, force feedback shifter, which I'm going to be really excited to show you guys. Yeah, that was it, right? Isn't that cool? And then all kinds of button box and accessories. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm super excited, man. If you guys are obviously into flight simming, this sounds so stupid, and you guys just got to bear with me. If you have the ability to try it, try American Truck Simulator. And I know that sounds ridiculous. Like, what does one have to do with the other? I don't know. But there's just something that's very awesome about American Truck Simulator. I should have set up my head tracker, but I knew that I was going to be bouncing back and forth to camera. Boss Money, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. I haven't tried ETS2. Jeremy here, who's in the chat, in the YouTube chat, he's real big into both of them, and he's been telling me the same thing. ETS is badass too. You know what my biggest gripe about ETS is, though? It's going to be another stupid comment. I don't like cab overs. That's literally it, though. That's literally it. Is I don't like cab overs. But I heard that some of the conventionals are starting to make their way over to Europe. Yeah, I knew that'd make you laugh. That's literally it. That is the only reason I don't like cab overs. I think they're ugly. And and don't get me wrong, from a logistics point of view, visibility, maneuvering the truck, right? They make far more sense than a conventional does, because you don't have to worry about the 6-foot long hood, right? So they do make sense. I remember my dad was telling me when he had to drive a Freightliner. It was either freight or an international. But he had a cab over in one of them, and he had to deadhead it back. He had to do like 1,000 miles deadheading, and he said it just without any weight on that back end, he said just beats the crap out of your back. I just bam, bam, bam. Yeah, and that makes sense, Jerry. Jay's saying in YouTube that the whole point is because the streets aren't as big as they are in the States. And that makes sense. It does. And even in the States, it makes sense. Like I said, just from the logistics of driving one, your visibility is going to be higher. You don't have as much room that you have to worry about, hence the smaller roads. They do make sense. I think they're ugly. That's literally it. They're ugly. For me. I love how they put all this water in. I had a fix for it and it broke. It doesn't work anymore. Yeah, Crow, it is. It's the Grand Duke. That's why I had to pull the power off so bad to get the damn thing to slow down. This thing hauls ass, dude. At 2,535 inches, we're cooking. Is that 180 knots? Looks like in Ryzen. I love the Duke. This is very quickly becoming my favorite aircraft. I haven't even tried the turbine yet. And for the longest time, dude, it's been the TBM 850. I saw a couple, Jeremy. I saw a couple of them, but they still... Conventionals just look meaner, in my opinion. There's a couple of them that look nice, don't get me wrong. But the conventionals, they're big, they're heavy, I don't know. They just look mean. Let's go ahead and go into a climb. We can go to continuous climb. See what our cylinder temps are. There we go. Wow, 130. Let's close those cowl flaps. Holy crap. They are cold. My opinion might change after driving one. We'll see. Dude, with the rig I have being built at this point, you know damn well I'm going to get it. So it's only a matter of time, and then you can say I told you so. So one thing I don't like, these aircraft suck for sightseeing. Don't think about having that giant engine out your window. Oh, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. You don't mess around with the BlackSquare aircraft, dude. So, funny stories. I've never been one... Unless the video is intentionally revolved around it, right? I don't follow the checklist. I typically jump in. I know what needs to be on for the engine to run, etc. And the BlackSquare TBM 850 was the first one that I really dove into. I actually have a guide on my Patreon for that one. So I really dove deep into it, just like I have one for this one now. So I had to dive deep into it. And it was 3 flights in a row the TBM 850 got me. It was either a failure because I didn't go through the checklist and the icing boots had failed on the left side, on the left wing. There was a time where I was getting frustrated because it wouldn't start. Well, one of the circuit breakers had popped. And then this one, I'll tell you, I was actually telling a story in my last live stream. In making this guide, it was just like right now. So like right now it's 11:41 at night. To give you guys an idea, I'm up and moving by typically about 5:30 every morning. Okay, I gotta get the kids ready. I'm at work by 6, blah, blah, blah. So it was tired. I'm trying to work on the guide, and I was working on specifically how to lean over Rich, right? So going through the EDM 760 and whatnot. And there we go. Sorry, I can't chew gum and walk at the same time. Anyway, so what ended up happening is I had taken the flight so many times now that I had started to climb out, and my cruise altitude in the guide is 25,000 feet for the Piston Duke. And I was doing the climb in full Rich. The mixture was at full Rich. And as the aircraft leveled off and you stopped having that, I can't remember what, there's a term for it where the mixture can be at full Rich if you're in a pitch. It shouldn't be. That's not good practice, don't get me wrong. But it, like, you'll be okay. But when you level off, I can't remember what the effect is, but essentially what happens is at that point your fuel to air mixture, you know, becomes too thin, right? You get far more fuel than you have air, obviously, at that altitude. And so what happened, gosh darn, all right, so you want to talk about the systems modeling? Here's what's happening right now, and I wasn't paying attention. This is a cold air warning light. So you can see that our cabin temp is down to 49 degrees. Anything below 50, and the cabin temp alarm will come on and start sounding. After takeoff, we never turned our cabin temp heat back on, so we can turn this back on. We shouldn't be high enough where we need to open up the intercoolers. But to talk on that for a second, I'll come back to my story. Yeah, exactly, flooded the engines. So we'll talk about that. So if you get high enough, like up at 25,000 feet, for example, the cabin temp system alone is likely not strong enough to heat the cabin, right? So what you end up having to do is you have to end up opening the intercoolers and get that raw hot air straight from the engine. Well, the problem with that is that it induces a higher carbon monoxide content into the aircraft. So then what you have to do is you have to turn your oxygen on when you're up at that altitude. And when you're up at that altitude anyway, about every 30 minutes you should be, because if not, in this particular aircraft, the BlackSquares, you will drop your pulse ox. For anyone watching who may not know, pulse oximeter reads the blood or the oxygen content in your blood. And anything below 95, you should be going, and anything below like 92, especially down if you get in the 80s, usually you're on your way to an emergency room to find out what the hell's going on, right? At like 85, you could be unconscious. Okay, so anyway, I digress. So then you have to run your oxygen. Well, then your oxygen starts depleting, so then you have to check your oxygen level after every flight. It has state saving, so if you don't pay attention from the flight before, you could find yourself without oxygen, having to descend. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So it's very well modeled. So back to my story. Speaking of the modeling, I was up at 25,000 feet. I'm tired as hell. I'm crabby. I'm trying to get the guide out because I already, like, I won't get into the whole details, but last year I really failed my Patreon subscribers, and I'm busting my ass to make sure I don't do that again this year. So we had the 777 guide released early January, B60 guide released last week. So I'm pushing this guide out. I'm tired anyway. And so what happens is level off at 25,000 feet, and I watch my fuel flow start to fall. Well, then I'm thinking like, oh crap, and I didn't do it slowly. I pulled my mixture off real quick, and I watched the fuel flow peak back up and then come back down. Well, it came back down because I pulled the fuel mixture back too far, and then I shoved it back forward again, thinking like, what do we think on takeoff, right? Takeoff and landing full rich, right? Well, when I put it back to full rich, I flooded the engine again. Next thing you know, I'm falling out of the sky. I'm coming down from 20, and I mean, I am falling out of the sky in this aircraft. And it did to me 3 times. I'm thinking it's a bug, blah, blah, blah. And then finally the next day, I'm rested, still very pissed off. Like the bad words I said about Asobo, because I'm not going to blame BlackSquare. No, who would do that? And, I start thinking about it logically. I'm sort of calm, you know, I'm at work and slow, and I'm sort of just sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, I'll bet you I was at full rich. I start thinking about the oxygen level, blah, 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 and sure as hell, I get up there, I test it again that night, it starts to fall, I lean the mixture back, the fuel flow comes back up, I lean the engine out correct, works just fine. I shove it forward again as a test, a couple minutes later, I start flooding my engine, I'm like, you idiot. Oh man, so yeah, it'll get you, and that's any of the BlackSquare aircraft. You can bet your money. But so they have the analog steam gauge for the Baron G58, which is fantastic, which takes the default 58 and turns it into a steam gauge, because I think by default it's a G1000. And then they did the G36, and I think it's actually just one guy. I think the BlackSquare developer is just one person. And then he's got the TBM 850. The King Air, and this one, and the B60s. Oh, they are awesome, Mike. They are awesome, and they're worth every penny. Like if you get the Duke, get all 3, get the package. You'll love it. Jaime, how are you, man? Welcome to the stream. Virtual airport and plane spotting. I think I've seen your channel. That sounds really familiar, man. But I'm right next door, buddy. Well, not right next door. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. I'm just north of you. What, 6 hours, 7 hours, I think? Yeah, man. This is the only thing I hate about flying around Arizona. Like, at least southern Arizona. This is what you get. The other thing I'm going to start getting down on more, Jeremy and I here in the chat, I don't know if he's still around. We're going to start doing some Farming Sim 25 on live stream. We're going to start a map completely from scratch, start out with logging, clearing everything, and build it up to a farm. Yeah, Bumpkin, exactly, dude. And that's all of his aircraft, all of BlackSquare aircraft, dude. You miss that step and they get you. That's why, like, so on this stream I decided not to do the run up, and I was like sitting here debating. I'm like, should I do the run up? But it's my first time flying the Grand Duke, so I'm like, what are the odds I'm gonna get a failure first time around? Do I have failures turned on? They should be. Yeah, they're on. Yeah, man, I hear you. I should be going to bed, but just not there yet. Oh, that's awesome, man. I wish we got bigger aircraft out here, more traffic. For as big as the runway as we have. Oh, nice, Al. I like FS25. I liked, what was it, 22? Is that what it was? I like both of them. That's why I started the second YouTube channel. If you guys haven't subscribed to that, make sure you guys check that out. The link should be in the descriptions. I'm going to use that channel for a catch-all. It's going to have everything. The damn YouTube algorithm, if I stray away from flight simulation too much, it just smashes basically it stops promoting the video, so you guys won't even know they're there. I should probably see where the hell we are. I haven't been paying attention, like, at all. That's Casa Grande. So, which means I-10 should be right out my window. Yeah, there it is. We'll follow the interstate. Well, interstate. Yeah, that'd be pretty dope. Agreed. Yeah, it's Overkill Entertainment 8 if you actually type in the URL. I had to put the stupid 8 there. I suppose I could just be a gentleman and throw you guys the link, huh? Nah, who does that? Thanks, I appreciate it, man. Damn, dude, we're doing almost 200 knots. 211 across the ground. You know, as gorgeous as Flight Sim 24 is, 2020 still is no slouch. They still did amazing. Roundabout, I agree. So, I understood... Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent. Yes and no to they could have upgraded it. So, I do believe to an extent that their initial cause. The initial statement was that 2020, that they had reached the architectural limits of the software. That they couldn't add the rest of the features they wanted to add because of the limitations in the architecture. And I would imagine that had to do more with the end users' computers than the actual system itself, which is why they went to the cloud. I also will say that I believe that they wanted to move to the cloud. So, I mean, there's obviously some benefit there for them. But I think, for example, the graphic engine change was definitely there. Like, you can absolutely see the difference in quality. Like, last night when I flew that Cessna 152, that was in 2024. And they definitely changed. The graphics are definitely better. Like, I won't deny that. But for the most part, yeah. I don't think that they needed to release it, and I think that they should have waited, certainly. I think it should have been Microsoft Flight Simulator 2026, personally, if you ask me. Wait until you get some really hardcore features that are worth making the switch for. That's why I still don't, you know, I do a couple videos with 2024 here and there, but that's why I haven't made the big switch to it yet. It's not ready, in my opinion. It's a good, and don't get me wrong, okay? I want to make it clear that I mean, you guys remember when 2020 launched, it was a disaster, right? So I do believe that when they iron out 2024, when they finally get it to where it should have been on launch day, and where, and you know who the push was. Like, I have no problem believing the pusher was Microsoft. I don't think it was Asobo. I really don't. When you look at their faces when they were doing the streams after the release, and even upcoming to the release, you could tell you could just see it. In certain things they would say, in certain connotations, certain looks on their face, you could see it that they didn't want to release it yet, right? I mean, so you know that it was Microsoft who pushed them to do it. Yeah, exactly. The code base was based on the original legacy. Exactly. So I don't fault Asobo. Asobo, I think, caught way more flack than they deserved. They need the backer. Like, at the end of the day, they have to do what Microsoft tells them to do. You know, that's just, there's no changing that, right? So, and I do believe that when 2024 reaches fruition, when it gets out of diapers and they get everything ironed out, I do think it's going to smoke 2020. I do think it will be the better of the two simulators, especially when it comes to flight modeling and flight dynamics. Yes, exactly. It needed way more time to cook. They wanted a well-done steak, and they're still at rare at best. You know what I mean? They've seared the edges, but that's about it. Yeah, it does. It has a ton of potential. Absolutely. Totally agree. It'll get there. The server issues that happened the first day, though, like, that I will blame Asobo for. Like, it shouldn't have happened. Like, they should have known. When they went up on stage and said that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 saw 40 million new subscribers to Flight Simulation, like, what did you guys think was going to happen when you launched 24? What did you think was going to happen, especially with all the game features they added to it? I will say that 2024 is the biggest blend between game and simulation that I've ever seen. Yeah, exactly, roundabout. I think so too. It was unfortunate. But even then, like, they caught... Oh my gosh. Like, I just got done saying that, yes, I think they should have anticipated that. Yes, I do blame Asobo for that. But they caught so much hate. Like, the hate they caught was awful. The things people were saying, man. Like, I remember that first stream they came on. It was like a 5.5-minute stream. It was the night of, when all of that was really happening. You could just see the look in their faces, man. It was just defeat across their faces. Like, they got hammered, man. But it's cool. The thing that I'm really excited for, once they get everything ironed out, is the water bombing. Yes, they are. I agree with you. Absolutely. I want something for nothing, and I want it now, and it better be perfect. Yep. Yeah. It's become a culture. That's all it is. On a more fun note, like I said, I can't wait till they get it detailed enough where the water bombing is like really good. I want to fly a full fidelity CL415 into a extremely authentic fire. All right, Jaime. Hey, man. Thanks for joining. Glad you stopped by. Thanks for the subscription, bud. I know, Mike. I know. I saw a couple of those. I couldn't believe that kind of crap over a simulator. Like, are you kidding me? That's where we're at now? I know, dude. I saw some of those comments. Unreal. All right, man. You as well. Like, you know, it's funny. Like, even the whole TikTok thing. Hey, X. So, I did live streams a while ago. And my goal last year was to do more. Unfortunately, last year was... I'm not going to go into the details, but it was a shitty year, to say the least. Pardon my French. It sucked. But, yeah. This is, I think, stream number 4 so far for 2025. Thanks, Roundabout. Appreciate that, man. Hopefully some of the good ones, because it really depends on the day. How lazy I feel like being when I'm making the video. You went with the crosswinds over Verpal? And don't get me wrong, the crosswinds are badass. Don't get me wrong. I've gotten to try some before, but... Oh, hey. Oops. Suppose I could turn my ugly mug back on. They do take a while. I say that in every video. Yeah. But I promise they're worth the wait. I promise you will not be disappointed. The Verpal stuff are fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. I love my Verpal stuff. The Collective, too, by the way. Holy crap. If you ever decide to get a Collective, just make sure you get the one with the throttle. Spend the money. If you ever decide to go rotor. Yeah, I heard about that. And it was on destination to their brand new facility, too. Yeah. Yeah, it is. So, and they opened up, so they've got a distribution center now in the... Thanks, X. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to do it a couple times a week now. So they opened up a distribution center in the U.S. in Florida. And then they opened up a new assembly warehouse, I want to say near London. I could be mistaken, somewhere around that area. And then they have their primary one, which I believe they're in Switzerland now, if I remember. Oh, cool. The CP2 panel, that's the one with the landing gear, right? The gear handle. You'll like that one. It's a cool one. I have the CM3 throttle. Oh, you went with the Alpha grip. Nice. I have the Mongoose 2, which actually I was looking on their website the other day. I think they discontinued it. I think they replaced it with the flanker grip. Stupid MiG. Sorry. Yeah. Where are we? KGXF, I think, is... KGXF, why does that sound familiar? I don't know, let's go find. How much fuel do we have? Well, we got plenty of gas. We're just screwing around. We went and found the Triple T truck stop earlier. Yeah, I'm not big into RGB either. Yeah, no. No, it's rugged. The thing I like about Virpil is it's rugged. It's extremely customizable. It's not particularly dedicated to a single aircraft. So like they're so the button panels that you got, you have the CP2. I have all three of them. If you, between the CM3 throttle and even the CP2 base, if 2 is the one with the landing gear, yeah, we said yeah, right? You could map almost anything to a GA aircraft, especially. Go slow. As far as all three panels, so obviously you have the CP2. Get the, I hate the way they've numbered these. I think number one is the, just go freaking look. Sit here guessing. Let's just look. Hang on, I'll share the window in just a second here. Window capture, Virpil. Okay. So, let's see here. Shop. Control panels. There they are. Yeah, so CP2. Yeah, and then so get the 3. I would do this one next. So this one, you can now change out the handles. I think this pack comes with it now, where you can swap them out so you can set them up. This is really nice if you're doing like general aviation. Your mixture and your prop, and especially depending on where you place them, it makes it real nice. Yeah, so CP2, you want the gear handle, and that's really nice for like your 737 where it's got the off position. But this one's really nice for everything else. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, you got it. I used to. That's actually how the channel started. My channel started with DCS. That's why I primary fly. So, I don't know if you guys have seen the cockpit yet. Let me... Hang on, I gotta find my other phone. Huh. You guys ever lose a cell phone? There it is. Hang on a second. Droid OBS. Okay. Let me... Ah! There's my babe. That's why I keep turning the camera off. I don't like people when they can see that. For the kids, mostly. Okay. So, let's see here. Give me a second. Let me fix this. Alright. So there you go. There's the cockpit. And I just brought this thing back in. So I welded... This was the Next Level Racing flight pit. And I welded that arm there where the wind wing panel is up at the front. And then for the 3 control panels, I welded those plates on so that way they could stand it. I put a stand underneath all of that so it would support the weight, extended the arm out, created a custom mount for the collective, and it works real nice. And I mean, you can map anything you want to that, absolutely anything. And then the only other thing I did was because I made it so that panel rotates out, so it works like a door. So the idea behind the reason why I did that is so I could sort of, gotta remember I fly a lot in VR, and I can move them. So the nice thing is that, I don't know if you've cut onto that yet, but all of the Virpil panels, the CM3 throttles, the CPs, any of them, they all have the exact same bolt pattern. So you can move them around, swap them around however you want. So I could always move that if I wanted to, and I actually might. But the idea behind that was that if I'm always going to have my hand on the throttle, and especially when you're in VR is when it's the biggest help, right? So, you know, you're covering eyes. I could just bring my hand up and feel for prop and mixture, right? That was the idea behind that. Yeah. Yeah, I've got the crystal and the crystal light. You know, I think we passed Phoenix like a long time ago, and that was my destination. I guess I should put that in there now, huh? Alright, so let's set our... Probably don't need to, but... We'll put KTUS as the starting point. Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did. Let's see. Yeah, it's behind us. You had to send the light back? Really? Wow. Are we there yet, Daddy? Here, pay in this. Nope, Daddy got the talking. Really? I have to look into that. What do you mean you've been building them, X? What do you mean? As in to distribute? To sell them? No, dude, don't be sorry. I jumped on to have fun, man. No, this is what I love to do. We were just talking about this. Like this is what flight simming used to be about. This is why I like going to the Flight Sim Expo, by the way. This is what makes the expo so much fun for me. I didn't think so. I saw it straighten out. I'm like, nah, I call bullshit. Sorry about the language. I saw it level out. I'm like, no. Hey, Matt, this is 2020, bud. Mega Nex? Alright, let me look it up. Oh, that's weird looking. Hold on, guys, I'll show you. Look at that. That's weird. It looks like they're sort of going with like the big screen method. Now, what it was called, big screen? Business edition. Look at this. Let's see. Wow, dude. $1,700. I mean, that's what the Crystal Super is going to be. It's got lower resolution, though. It's got a higher color panel, though. Slightly, well... So, the Crystal Super is going to have two different variants. So, you're going to have 55, and I think the other one's 57? Big screen beyond. Yeah, thanks, bro. That is interesting, dude. That is interesting. Huh. I kind of want to reach out to them. I might do that. Thanks. I'm sorry. We just got some questions. I'm sorry. Low tech. Do you think the marketplace will be working in MSF24? I don't know, man. We were just talking about 2024. The biggest thing with 2024 is it's not ready, you know. So they've only got 5 hands, and they've got 40 places that they all need to be. Yeah, I think I'm going to. Hey, X, you should reach out to me direct on Discord. I'd be interested in talking to you. If that's something you're interested in possibly doing. Or you can catch my email. It's in the channel. Or just overkillsimulations@gmail.com, however. But I'd be interested in chatting with you. That is normal right now, low tech, yeah. I'd love to see your rig, X. Bumpkin, somebody else said that. I saw that on somebody else's post. There is definitely a weird bug going on with that. Yeah, man, hit me up. I'd like to chat. I agree with VKB as well. Their grips are really nice, like you said. I still think, yeah, man, let's chat. I'm like a deer in headlights. Virpil has the best, I think, all around, but they are also, I think, the most expensive. Winwing would be my next recommendation to someone. They are not as expensive, but for example, so I'm flying from my desk. I showed you guys the cockpit earlier. That's Winwing. Okay, this is the Orion 2. And they have other cams and, yes, Jeremy. They have other cams and things like that you can put in them just like Virpil does, but they don't come with them. You have to order that package separately. So that I don't like. The other thing that's real nice about Virpil is being able to adjust the tension and stuff right from the top of it. I mean, you don't have to take it apart. You don't have to remove it from the mounts. Yeah, they are. I've worked with VKB before. Oh, I never even turned prop sync off. Not gonna think I really needed it, but what the hell. Yeah, it is. The Virpil bases are awesome. So it's funny too because, like, I love the WinWing throttles. Like here, since you guys have the CM3, hold on. Reach through my arsenal of crap. Where are you guys? It's gonna get a little funky because of my stupid background removal. So I like the toggle switches that they do with WinWing. With WinWing, I think that the throttles are better laid out. I like the toggle switches where Virpil does almost completely momentary. And I understand the purpose for both, right? So it really depends on what you're doing. For example, if you're doing like DCS, for example, DCS, you're probably going to be more likely, though it's not my preference, but you are more likely to be in a scenario where you would be a hot start, where you would do an air start, right? Where you spawn and you're already in the air. And in that situation, especially with DCS, where it can do, what's it called? Where it will sync with your controls. So for example, if your battery switch is off, it'll, when you spawn, boom, your battery will kill. So I get the purpose of momentary. You don't have to worry about things like that. But I love the toggle feel switch when it comes to aviation. Far better. And the other thing that I really like about WinWing is that, for example, Thrustmaster Warthog, when you use a toggle switch, you have on and you have off. But there's not two different, you don't have on, right? And what I mean is the button push. There's no button on this side. It's a button push, and then that button is released. And so I remember when, especially in the older days of DCS, trying to map the Thrustmaster Warthog could be a real pain in the ass. Because natively, DCS didn't have a trigger on release option. And where WinWing, you don't have to worry about that because every position of the switch is its own button. So DCS would recognize it no matter what position it was in. So it made mapping things like DCS a lot easier. So I like WinWing for that. I think the Virpil throttle action is a lot smoother and nicer. One of the weird things that I get with this Orion 2 is after it's been sitting, like right now, it's sticking. It has a little bit of stiction, but then once I start moving it, it moves smooth as glass all the way through. But if I leave it just for a couple seconds and go to move it again, it'll stick. You have to like push it. It's weird. WinWing is still good stuff, man. WinWing is really good stuff. I'm super excited. I have something at the end of February, because we're going to be bringing DCS back to the channel too. I miss DCS, and it's coming back. That's part of what the Cockpit overhaul was all about, was for DCS. But I've got something super exciting coming from WinWing at the end of February. So I cannot wait to show you guys. I cannot wait. If you guys like DCS, oh, you're gonna love it. I saw the WinWing Collective at the Flight Sim Expo. It was pretty cool, but I definitely like the Virpil better. And I think it's just because the action is so much longer, so it feels much more realistic, and I feel like you have a bit more finite control, and obviously with the helicopters that becomes pretty critical. Yeah, definitely stick with, in my opinion, I would say stick with Virpil when it comes to the Collective. At the same token, though, I mean, you can do the same thing with the CM3 base, right? But at the same token, this Orion 2 for helicopters is awesome because, like, I'm going to barely tap it, right? Or here, I'll just wiggle it. Like, I know that looks really stupid on camera, but you guys get what I'm getting at? It moves super light, default out of the box, and super smooth. There's zero stiction in it whatsoever, right? Just like you would get with Virpil. And so for, you know, when you fly the helicopters, you should only be using like your fingertips at best when you're on the cyclic. And so with the this Orion 2 is a sweet deal for helicopters, especially if you're not using an extension. Yeah, the grip options are better. You know what's funny? Is so right now on the cockpit I have the Apache grip, and I actually think I like the Blackhawk one better. On the Wind Wing stuff, X? Yeah, it's funny. I've actually got the, Brian, I have the Wind Wing Airbus FCU sitting on the desk in front of me right now. I was playing around with it earlier tonight. Alright, let me get the Sky Harbor MEDAR real quick. They have 0 wind in Sky Harbor right now? Must be nice. What's the altimeter? 3026. The only one that I ever had to grease was my Thrustmaster Warthog with the plastic gimbal. And you know what? I ended up using I ended up using wheel bearing grease like automotive. Never failed again. It never got hot enough to break down after that. Do you? Yeah. Yeah, when I first got my Warthog, I had to take it apart twice. I had to sand it. And I always had to re-grease it. I remember they used to ship with that garbage, thin silicone grease. Yeah, I gave mine to my dad. Well, I had 2 of them, I guess, because Thrustmaster sent me one. Oh, crap. That's Sky Harbor right there. Alright, guys. We're going to fly it like we stole it. I'm going to do a lot of really dumb stuff right here, so enjoy. I'm just watching the airspeed so we don't overspeed the damn thing. Yeah, that's the thing, dude. Thrustmaster is still a great place to start. If, I'm going to preface this with if you are unsure if you're going to stick with it. Right? If you want something decent, but how do I word this? Do you guys know what I'm getting at? Thrustmaster still has a place. Unfortunately, they can no longer keep up with... Whoa. We are stuttering like crazy now. They can't keep up with anybody else anymore. Hey, Low Tech. Thanks. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Seriously, thank you. That was very kind of you to say. Yeah. Yeah, the stiction is still there. I have the AVA right behind me, actually, on the shelf. It is beginner gear, but it's out of the... Yeah, exactly. It's a step up. That's perfect. But no, I wouldn't even call it intermediate. You know what I mean? And they are far too expensive, yes. So do you guys know about this trick, right? On a constant speed prop, put your prop pitch all the way forward to maximum. Take your manifold pressure, pull it way back. Look at the airspeed. Turns the props into big giant drag chutes. You can descend like a bat out of hell and you'll still slow down. So your props to full, manifold throttles to almost idle. Turns them into kites. Let's get flaps, gear down. Mixture back to full. And since I didn't turn my stupid head tracking on, I should probably have an idea of where the damn airport is. Whoa, what is with the lag, dude? Microsoft or Sobo, knock it off, boys. Alright, should be alright. Cow flaps need to be open. Come on. That's what happens when you wait till the last second to do everything. I think if I stay on this turn course, we'll be alright. Got full flaps in now. Come on. Should be right on 2.5 here. Oh! Look at that. Stop lagging. It's not the time, Microsoft. Oh, I liked my TPR rudder pedals. I had them for a long time. Look at that. Tell me that was not a perfect rollout for not even looking. Alright, let's see here. Oh. Prop pitch off. Cabin off. Trim that nose up. Trim the nose up, trim the nose up, trim the nose up. Nice approach speed. Nah, I rarely turn auto FPS on. Like I said, I don't usually have a problem with that with 2020. I really don't anymore. Call me silly, but I don't know. Right. Crossing the threshold. Throttles the idle. Let her set. Like a glove. Flaps up, leaned for taxi. Although even in 2024, I don't usually use it. I don't usually have the problems that a lot of people are trying to chase with auto FPS. The only thing that I wish I had, so I need a second computer. Like, it's getting hard running this because this same machine, so give you guys the quick rundown. I'm a single father. I got 3 kids. I work 3 jobs essentially. YouTube, my day job, Patreon. I have 2 rigs. I have a lot of my testing and reviewing I do here from the desk. Then I have the cockpit that you guys saw, and then soon to be the motion pit that DOF Reality is setting up for everything else. And but the problem that I have with this one, it's got a good processor. It's got a 7900X3D, but it's always running. I use it for my day job. I use it for this. I use it for everything. and then it's got the RTX 4080. So the 4080 does really good with the crystal light. In most situations I do pretty good, but like it's there are certain places certainly it shows where it's a little underpowered. But my biggest thing like right now is like if this machine were to die, like it'd be game over for me. Like I said, my day job, this everything would suffer. So that's why I'm looking for that. But I don't, even with that hardware, my whole purpose of mentioning all that was with this hardware, I don't usually struggle. But I also don't chase FPS. I think like a lot of people do. I don't look at the FPS numbers. It is super rare that I actually look for the numbers of FPS. What I look for is smoothness and do I enjoy the content, right? Am I seeing stuttering? Am I seeing anything that's pulling me out of the immersion because the FPS has gotten low? And in those situations, usually I'll do it. Or if it's something that I think that you guys will be interested in, you know, we'll do the testing and things like that. But for the most part, I don't usually chase FPS. All right, there we go. Dump any pressure. All right, so when you guys kill these engines, to clean up the cylinder heads, and again, this is a BlackSquare aircraft, bring them up to about 1500 RPMs and pull your mixtures off. Let that one run, pull your mixture off. Then take out your magnetos. I think everything else is good to go. See engine status. If there's anything we need to worry about. Nope. Nope. Excellent. My guess would be low tech with that there's something about them that's overlapping. And because it's overlapping, it's causing a conflict, which means it also may not be layered right. The other thing that you can try doing to confirm that, so the community folder will load its mods usually just by the name, usually in order. But for example, I don't know if you've ever seen some mods that have a Z at the start of it. The idea behind that is that they want that mod to load last. So what you could try doing with those particular mods, if they all start with a similar naming sequence, is you could try literally numbering them. Like, don't change the name other than adding a number or adding a different letter sequence that would force them to load in a different order. You might look on their website and see if they have anything that specifies a particular order, but that might be something that you'll try. Yeah, so we're close there, X. Yeah, I have the 4080, like I said, the 7900 X3D, and then I have the 64 gigs of RAM. It does help with a little bit of the micro stuttering, I'll give you that, but honestly, for me, the biggest thing was just setting the priority in the CPU affinity. Oh, I did see that, Brian. Guys. I don't know how the hell they got off the ground with a tow bar. Like, dude, the things that could have gone wrong, like, despite what already did, but I'm amazed. Yeah, I got to bounce out of here too, guys. Roundabout, thanks, man. Appreciate you guys joining. I had a lot of fun, guys. Please, if you guys ever see me streaming, oh, you'll see me streaming. This is what I'm going to start doing when I'm bored, basically. It may not be Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I'll be on. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitch too, though, because like I said, because of the YouTube algorithm, if I'm doing something outside of this, and I'll always post it in the Discord, so make sure you guys join my Discord too. The link to my Discord is in all of my videos. If I'm doing something outside of Flight Simulator, I won't be posting on this particular channel because it'll crush my algorithm. Yeah. Nice. Pretty much. All right, guys. Thank you guys all for joining. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the love and support. This was a very fun. I'm really glad I did this. I almost wasn't going to, but this was fun. I really appreciate the chit chat. And like I said, guys, join Discord. Hit me up anytime, guys. I'll respond to pretty much anyone. You guys are welcome to private message me. I don't frown on that, anything like that. So as always, guys, you know the drill. Stay safe and healthy. See you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.